Hello and welcome everybody to today's special webinar, How to Trade Commodity Currencies, with myself, Phil Carr, at the Gold and Silver Club. So during the live session today, we will of course be covering live market analysis. We'll be going through a watch list of trade ideas, analysis of where gold, silver, oil, and the commodity currencies are heading next, answering questions, and of course we will be providing live support as well. As always, contributions are very welcome. Feel free to put any questions into the chat as we continue with today's analysis. Before we get into it, let me introduce you to the Gold and Silver Club. The Gold and Silver Club is regarded as the go-to authority on commodities trading, and as internationally respected experts, our analysis and our opinions on the metals, energy, the cryptocurrency markets, they are routinely sought by major financial television channels and publications, which include Bloomberg, Reuters, CNBC, the Financial Times, the Wall Street Journal. Our team of experts has trained and mentored thousands of traders from all over the world to invest in the financial markets with confidence using our exclusive strategies. For further information on the Gold and Silver Club and our expertise, please do visit www.thegoldandsilverclub.com. Now, during today's session, we will of course be going through commodity currencies in more detail and what you should look at in terms of the inverse correlations. Now, today in particular is a very good time to be hosting today's webinar, because as of today, copper has broken out to 3-month highs, silver is currently trading at 1-month highs, and gold has just broken back above $1,300 US, and palladium is the top performing commodity of the day. So it's good timing to have a look here at the related commodity currencies, because the Australian dollar, US dollar is breaking out, and so is the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. So this is very much the case with commodity currencies. When the metals in particular are performing well, currencies such as the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar will also get the correlation. They will also get a bid. A commodity currency is essentially the name which is given to currencies of countries which depend heavily on the export of raw materials for income. So in the foreign exchange market, that can be commodity currencies generally refer to the Australian dollar, the Canadian dollar, New Zealand dollar, Norwegian krone, South African rand, Brazilian real, and the Russian ruble, because these countries rely heavily upon commodities and the export of those commodities as well. Canada produces a large quantity of commodities, including natural gas, timber, oil, so this makes Canada's economy very sensitive to commodity prices. And then we have Australia, one of the world's most natural resource-rich countries, has a large holding of gold, iron, coal, and aluminium, and as a result, we've got a lot of correlation with gold and those commodities as well. So first of all, if we have a look at the Australian dollar, US dollar, Australia accounts for 1/3 of global iron ore and gold production. So that's why there's a lot of correlation between iron ore prices, gold prices, and how the Australian dollar is performing, and also correlation with copper too. It means that Australia's fiscal revenue is very sensitive to changes in metal prices. So based on intermarket relationships, the Australian dollar is very tightly correlated to iron ore and gold prices. And when iron ore and gold prices go up, the Australian dollar, US dollar tends to go up. When the iron ore and gold prices go down, Australian dollar, US dollar also tends to go down as well. There's that very direct correlation. With the US dollar, Canadian dollar, well, Canada is the 6th largest oil producer in the world, about 1/4 of whose export is oil, and that makes Canada's economy very sensitive to oil prices. So fluctuations in oil prices can be traded via the US dollar, Canadian dollar. There's a very clear inverse correlation with the US dollar, Canadian dollar. So when oil prices go up, US dollar, Canadian dollar typically sells off. And when oil prices go down, US dollar, Canadian dollar often gets a bid and goes up as well. So there's this very clear inverse correlation between oil and also the US dollar CAD, which we'll have a look at shortly on the charts as well. There's a lot I want to cover with you in terms of my news feeds. So I'll move over to my charts and news feeds very shortly so we can have a look in a bit more detail as to what is happening in the markets right now. Essentially, when we're looking to execute a trade on binary.com, we're looking for the price either to close higher or lower over a specified duration. So one of our favorite time frames for a binary trade is a 1 hour duration where we're just getting in and out on a breakout, and all we need the price to do is to either close higher or lower over the specified time frame that we are executing that trade. So essentially, if we're looking for the price to close higher over a 1 hour time frame, we would look for a bid here for a rise and fall type of trade for the price to close higher over that duration. Start time now, duration 1 hour. So for example, let's say gold, we're looking for the price to break out on gold over the next hour. We'd look for the price to be higher. Now the stake is exactly what you're willing to risk on the trade. The payout is what you will get paid if the trade is correct. And that's the same, of course, with either the price to be higher or the price to be lower. So if you felt that, for example, US dollar, Canadian dollar would be lower over the next hour, again, you'd look for the stake is what you'd risk on the trade and the payout is what you would make on the trade. What I like about this, it's very transparent. Your deal ticket shows you what your risk is on the trade, what your payout will be. The stake is what you'd lose if the trade doesn't work. The payout is what you would win if the trade is successful. Okay, so that's what you're looking at. Now, of course, the payout can vary there. It could be £2,500. It could be £500. It could be £50. It could be £5. It could be in dollars. It could be in euros. It can be in pound sterling. So it's all very flexible, and it just depends on your strategy with risk as well. If there's any additional questions on the execution side of trades, just let me know. But that's a typical deal ticket that we will be executing on binary, and that's essentially what we're looking at, higher or lower type of trade. And typically start time now, so we're getting at market, duration normally 1 hour, depending on the breakouts that we're looking at, and then the payout is obviously just down to your portfolio size as well. So with that, let's move it over to the charts as well, and I'll go through with you exactly what we're looking at, and we'll go through some analysis in terms of what we're currently seeing with the markets right now. So let me just bring over my screens. You should be able to see those very shortly. Okay, quick check-in. Everybody can see my screens okay? Yeah, fantastic. Thanks very much for that, Sharice. Okay, good. So I'm going to come back to this. This is basically sentiment, what we're seeing at the moment. There's a lot of movement on the metals today and the commodity currencies. First of all, let's just put that in a bit of context. So today we've essentially seen copper breaking out now to 3.5-month highs as the dollar has continued to sell off. Copper breaking out to 3.5-month highs after the dollar fell sharply, and we've got concerns lingering over possible supply disruptions in Chile, which is helping with the buying momentum to the upside. We've hit our profit targets on copper today, so we've closed out of our copper positions. On gold, gold is gaining, broke back above 1,300 US dollars per ounce, holding firm today, so we're breaking above some key resistance. I want to see whether gold can hold above that level today. And also platinum, I would definitely keep an eye on platinum as well. Platinum had retested $900 yesterday, back at a very key accumulation zone, and I really like platinum for a long. Every time it dips back below $900, there's a deficit on platinum at the moment. So right now we've got an industrial and auto catalyst demand which continues to increase. So we've got more demand for platinum whilst the mining supply has been contracting and decreasing. So it's a bit of a perfect storm for platinum prices to go up from very oversold levels at the moment. So that's what we're seeing right now with respect to the commodities right now. And also, if we just take that over and have a look at the commodity currencies as well, you'll see here that we've essentially seen commodity currencies today, Australian dollar breaking out here to 6-week highs, and also the New Zealand dollar too breaking out to 1-month highs, which isn't too much of a surprise given where we are with gold and silver and other metals today as well. So again, what I want to look at here, I want to get a sense of sentiment today and what is really moving. So I don't want to trade anything that's not moving. I want to trade what is moving. Where are we seeing the most upside and downside in the markets today? So it's very much commodity driven today. We can see that with Palladium leading the move today, up 2.7% on the day, followed by copper, which is broken out to 3.5-month highs. Copper is now up 1.6% on the day, followed by silver, which we also have a long position on, which is now up 1.2% on the day. Australian dollar is catching a bid, which is up 0.7% on the day as well. In terms of the crosses, the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar is breaking out, up 0.5% on the day. gold is lagging at the moment, slightly behind. So gold is lagging behind palladium and silver right now. So we've got a long on silver. We do have a position on gold as well, but just bear in mind that it's struggling a bit with 1,300 US dollars overhead resistance at that level for the time being. New Zealand dollar is up on the day, but it's also lagging behind Australian dollar. So the Australian dollar is the better out of those trades. Oil is now down 1% on the day here as well. So we continue to see pressure to the downside on oil, and as a result, US dollar, Canadian dollar is getting some support. So that's what we're seeing right now. That's where the sentiment is. Euro's also breaking out today as well. Pound was breaking out earlier on in the session, but overall, everything is looking quite strong here against the dollar. So then we move over to the dollar index. You can see where the dollar index is breaking down. We had a sell signal on this last week. It's just about broken below the weekly and the monthly pivot today, and it's sitting around the 21-day moving average at the moment. It's still at a bit of a decision point here, and I want to see how that will develop tomorrow as well. Inversely to that, we've got gold, which is trying to break out above a lot of resistance. It's at 1,299 US dollars at the moment. Copper has been the star here, so you can see copper is still surging, and it's broken out to 3.5-month highs. We've hit all of our profit targets now on copper. Platinum, we've got a long position on. I still think there's more upside on platinum here for it to break out above $907 to $910. We've been consolidating here for the last few days, retested the lows yesterday, but it's getting a bid again here. Silver, I'm long on silver, and we've actually had quite a few questions which have come in just this afternoon as to whether we should bank silver at this level. So whether we should close out on silver and $16, it's around 70 cents per ounce at the moment. So we've seen a new buy signal which has been developed on silver just overnight after retest of support. We covered this actually on the live trading room yesterday. We're long silver right now. What tends to happen as you get closer to an FOMC statement, which we have next Wednesday, that'll be at 7 o'clock London time, is typically on the actual day of the statement, normally, and a couple of days previous to that as well. So this normally starts off the end of the week, so Friday through to Monday, Tuesday next week, is that the US dollar gets supported because of the Federal Reserve expectation to increase interest rates, which overall tends to make traders tend to favor US dollar strength as we get closer to the FOMC statement next week. And then normally we see a pause in prices for the metals. However, we can see right now the sentiment is really strong for palladium, copper, platinum, silver, gold to a certain extent as well. The question today, we've got a few more hours left, is are we going to see silver do the same as copper? So essentially copper broke above resistance earlier on in the week on Tuesday, and then it really rocketed the following 2 days, broken above 3.5-month highs. That's certainly a potential here with silver. Silver is within the realm of possibility that tomorrow we could break above a lot of this resistance, come back towards about $17 per ounce, and even up until Friday potentially get back above $17. So that would be best case scenario for the long position that we have on at the moment, and then we revisit the swing highs here from April. Then we cash out of the trade because then we'll want to just square up prior to the FOMC statement next week. Or are we going to see silver pause already from today's move, and is it going to just give back all of the gains tomorrow, and is it going to roll over as it's done so over the month of May, and also over, well, the end of May here, mid-May as well, where it breaks out and then the next day just gives back all of the gains? And that's really what we're looking at the moment. We've got a little bit more time to make that decision on silver later on in the day. There's a few different ways that we can manage this trade at the moment in terms of how to potentially scale out of some profits. There's a few different ways, from trading stop losses to banking half profits to looking at also just squaring up on some of the profit on the trade. It's a risk-free trade at the moment we've got on silver right now, but the price structure here is definitely at a decision point. We're also sat at the 300-day moving average, which we've only broken out above once so far since February time as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here on silver. So I'm watching silver closely today. Again, gold looks supportive. It might be able to break out tomorrow, and we might be on the verge of breaking out a lot of this overhead resistance. Palladium, look at palladium go now. So now it's $1,017. So palladium, that's a big breakout for palladium. Overall, the metal strength like this at the moment does suggest that we could see more follow through. Australian dollar, US dollar is now breaking out to the highest levels since the beginning of April. We've got this really strong basing formation, which is formed on the Australian dollar weekly chart. Also, we mentioned this last week as well on the commodities corner, that we like the price structure on the weekly for a breakout. So the Australian dollar has really worked out nicely for our longs. And New Zealand dollar as well, again on a weekly chart here, you can see we've got a buy signal on the weekly. It's come all the way back towards 2-year support channels for the Australian dollar. Let me bring up the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar as well. Because the Australian dollar is stronger than the New Zealand dollar at the moment, it's getting a bid too, and we're seeing it start to follow through. So this also is looking quite strong at the moment for the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar to potentially follow through more significantly as well. So in terms of the metals right now, that is what we're looking for with the correlations with the metals at the moment. And that's what we're looking for right now with the commodity currencies too. So we've got those key drivers right now. So now we want to just move it over to the energies. And we've had also the oil inventory data come out today too. So you can see here, clearly headline news here, US crude stocks unexpectedly build despite high refinery rates. So with that, we've essentially seen oil prices drop on surprise US stockpiles. So that's very clear that essentially the oil inventory data, which came out today at 3:30 London time, has caused oil to break down again. It's just about sitting at the monthly pivot, and it looks on the verge of potentially breaking through a lot of support here. So oil is basically bearish price structure at the moment, which could break down more significantly later on in the session or early, as we go into early part of the Asia Pacific session as well. Bear in mind that oil will be a major trading event on the 22nd of June with the OPEC meeting taking place in Vienna. So that's definitely a big announcement to have in the diary. The US dollar, Canadian dollar would often go up when oil goes down. So right now, in terms of momentum at the moment, crude oil, this is US crude oil, it basically needs to break $64.25 per barrel, and then it's going to be a legitimate sell, and we should see it tank and start to break down with more momentum to the downside. So that's what I'm looking at the moment with respect to the energies, and you could potentially play that either by selling short into oil or looking at a long position on the US dollar, Canadian dollar. So that's what we're taking into account at the moment. I think that's it. Because we've seen quite a lot of moves already today, guys, it's really going to be very much about the US dollar here. So what the US dollar does next, we've got a sell signal on the US dollar at the moment. Palladium still breaking out. I mean, look at Palladium go today. That's been amazing. Really strong breakout. You can see copper is just catching fire as well. Silver right now, I would expect the potential for maybe more upside here, considering what we're seeing as well on the other metals. And gold is still a little bit muted, but it's starting to get up positive on the day. If it closes back above 1300s, I would definitely look at this as a potential long opportunity here, because it's on the verge of breaking out above a lot of resistance. If it reclaims above 1300, gold could also have quite a significant breakout here to the upside. So that's really what you want to be having a look at today, guys. So I hope that gives you a little bit of clarity as to what we're looking at the moment. Now, of course, next week we will be trading the FOMC statement. We'll be providing all of our traders at the Gold and Silver Club with a pre-FOMC statement webinar where we will be getting prepared for that. It's one of the biggest trading opportunities of the year. There's 4 FOMC statements a year where they've got a press conference afterwards and where they look more likely to increase interest rates. One of those is the June FOMC statement, which is next Wednesday. So if you would like to join us for that, it's pretty straightforward. All you need to do is make an application, and that all you need to do is go to www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com. We've got special promotions available just for that particular session. Okay, so it's www. Oh, let me see if I put that in correctly. Hopefully that is the case. Yeah, www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com. That's next week for the FOMC statement, which is Wednesday. And therefore you get access essentially to our live trading room program. We can also set you up with access to custom built market data and our news trading platform as well. So we can get you set up with a complimentary trial of that. You can get invitation only to our live trading room webinars with Q&A to real-time trade alerts. So you get those delivered instantly by email and SMS of every trade that we're taking at the Gold and Silver Club. You get access to our weekly trading plans with our technical analysis and our fundamental research as well. You also get access to our private members academy. So you have access to a range of our training videos, strategies, our signals, our discussion boards, VIP phone and email support. So we're there to support you at the Gold and Silver Club. We can also customize all of your charts, so you get platform setup, configuration, and the indicators that we use. So again, for more information, all you need to do is go to www.jointhelivetradingroom.com. I've also put the link there into the chat as well. In fact, I think I've not sent that to all of you. Let me just make sure that is for all attendees. There you go, www.jointhegold and silver club. Okay, that doesn't appear to be working at the moment. Let me just try that one more time. There we go. Yep, www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com or www.jointhelivetradingroom.com. Also, head over to our YouTube channel, which is just Google on YouTube, the Gold and Silver Club. Make sure you subscribe to our latest commodity reports. Make sure you also subscribe to binary.com YouTube channel as well, so you catch all of the recordings too. Okay, so with that, I hope that helps, guys. I hope that gives you a little bit of clarity of how to trade commodity currency correlations. We'll catch you back here for Friday's Commodities Corner. And of course, if you want to trade the FOMC statement with us next week as well, just go to that link that's on the screen at the moment or in the chat. And we look forward to working with you at the Gold and Silver Club. Okay, guys, so with that, I wish you all the best, good trading, and we'll see you all on the next one. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.